If you find yourself dreaming of tree runs and champagne powder stashes amongst the aspens and pines, Steamboat Springs is the place for you. I don't think I've ever seen a resort offer so many incredible tree riding opportunities in my life, and this Colorado resort is not only my favorite in Colorado, but easily slots into my top 3 ski resorts I've ever been to. But before we get into the actual review, here's just some quick stats about Steamboat Springs. Steamboat Springs has an elevation of 10,568 feet. It has a vertical drop of 3,668 feet, 2,965 skiable acres, an average of 336 inches of snow per year, 21 chairlifts, 169 runs. It is on the Ikon Pass, which if you were going, definitely buy the Ikon Pass. It's the cheapest route. And if you are to buy lift tickets there on the day of, lift ticket prices are $177 on weekdays, $192 on weekends, and on a holiday weekend, a whopping $265. So if you're planning on going to ski or snowboard at Steamboat Springs, you have 2 options in terms of getting there. Your cheapest option is going to be to fly into Denver International Airport, but then you're going to have to rent a car and drive over 3 hours to get from Denver to Steamboat. If you do take this option, it's going to have a much cheaper flight typically because it's so easy to fly into Denver. However, be warned, this drive can get pretty gnarly depending on the road conditions. We drove because we were hopping from multiple Colorado ski resorts, but it was a semi-sketchy drive there, although it was beautiful. But then when the time came to leave Steamboat Springs, that drive was the scariest drive of my life. Full whiteout conditions, we were under a blizzard warning, cars were going off the road left and right, road closures due to avalanche, and you have to take Rabbit Ears Pass to get in and out of Steamboat Springs, which can be closed. Like I said, this is an option if you can swing it, but personally, if I was going to go back, I would take option number 2. Option number 2 is to fly into Yampa Valley Regional Airport. This is going to put you only 28 to 30 minutes or so outside of Steamboat. This opens up a lot more shuttle options, so you don't necessarily have to rent a car. You could shuttle or Uber into Steamboat, and then once you're in Steamboat, Steamboat does have free public transportation, so you would be able to get around that way. Which, just a quick note about public transportation, don't be intimidated. It's super easy to use, easy to get around, and there's an app to track the buses to make this whole process super simple. So with that public transportation, you would not need a rental car, which would help kind of balance out that cost a little bit, or you could Uber, as well as you are flying directly into the town of Steamboat Springs, so you're right there and there's no need to travel or have to do a long drive after you've already flown all that way. Whenever we go back to Steamboat Springs, this is definitely the option I plan on shooting for. Now, once you're in Steamboat Springs, it is a fairly large area. You've got the actual town of Steamboat Springs, which I've heard is absolutely incredible, but unfortunately with our short, quick trip there, we didn't have time to go downtown at all. If I go back, definitely top of my list because the downtown area looks phenomenal and I've heard really great things. Then you've got the Steamboat Village. This is awesome to me because you have so much to do right around where you're at. So if you're here on a longer vacation, you've got tons of activities to do, places to visit, restaurant options. As well as I think Steamboat will be a great place to take a family ski or snowboard vacation, or if you've got a non-skier in your family, Steamboat would be great for them as well. I definitely would love to bring my wife back to Steamboat because I know she would love the town. She could go shopping downtown and go do her thing while I'm snowboarding on the mountain. And with having both a town and ski village, you've got tons of options for lodging while you're staying on your trip. Staying in town will have you closer to more restaurants and shops. It will also be a little bit cheaper. When I was looking at staying downtown, I saw that Rabbit Ears Motel was your cheapest option if you're coming to Steamboat on a budget. I think staying downtown would definitely be a great option for when the day is done and you're off of the mountain. But the downside will be when you're skiing or snowboarding, you're either going to have to drive up there, pay to park, or take the shuttle to the mountain. Then if you stay in the village, you've got tons of ski in and ski out condos. If you're looking for an incredible condo, I will have the condo that we stayed in linked down below. Thank you again so much, JC and Danny, for hosting us. This condo was ski in, ski out. The location was awesome. The layout was incredible. And it just feels like the perfect lodging for a ski or snowboard vacation. It was like being in a super modern cabin. It was fantastic and easily one of my favorite condos that I have ever stayed in for any vacation, period. Now the part you came for. How is the skiing and snowboarding at Steamboat Springs? The best way that I can describe Steamboat Springs is Tree City. I have never in my life seen so many opportunities to get into gladed runs, whether it be pine trees, aspen trees, you name it. There is just gladed runs galore. It is an absolute tree rider's playground. I've never seen anything like it. Steamboat has every type of terrain you could want at a ski resort. It's a very great resort for any type of terrain. I think any rider will be able to find something they're looking for at Steamboat, regardless of your skill level. We did our best to cover the entire mountain to see what all was there, but the tree riding was definitely the standout and what Steamboat is known for. Their aspen glades and champagne powder are absolutely legendary. Literally everywhere you go, every run pretty much has the option on the side where you can dip in and out of the trees. You've got aspen trees, pine trees, runs that have a mix of both. There's chutes. It is absolutely phenomenal riding. I think regardless of the conditions, because of the terrain that they have, you will have a great time at Steamboat Springs, which is huge because some resorts I've been to would only be fun on a powder day. On a regular day, I don't think they would be as enjoyable. But Steamboat, you're going to have a blast regardless of the snow conditions. But if you are lucky enough to get a powder day at Steamboat, I would argue that it is one of the best ski resorts you could possibly be at for powder riding. It is incredibly good just because of where it's located. You get this insanely light powder that Steamboat calls their champagne powder that's absolutely unreal. My personal favorite area at Steamboat for snowboarding was on the back side of the mountain off of the Morningside chairlift. This area for me just felt like a giant playground for snowboarders, offering almost like a backcountry feel but staying in bounds. We did so many laps back here and every lap was a little bit different. Tons of powder stashes and natural terrains and features to hit. We definitely wanted to explore more, but the visibility was rough and there were quite a few tree wells that we could see. So it's a bad combo, so we didn't get as adventurous. But definitely if I come back, this is an area I'll play around much more because I just think there's so much potential back there. Steamboat also does offer night riding on the front of the mountain as well, which includes their terrain park. Their terrain park has a super pipe, a jump line, a small terrain park, and just the fact that they do offer night riding is sick, giving you more hours in the day to shred because not many ski resorts out west like this tend to offer night riding, so that's really awesome to see. And speaking of seeing things, the views at Steamboat are absolutely beautiful. Steamboat doesn't have those epic mountain peaks like you get in a lot of Colorado resorts. However, the views you do get of the snow-covered aspens and pines are still absolutely beautiful, and parts of it literally look so perfect it doesn't look real. I would say this is one of the most beautiful mountains and towns I have ever been to for sure. If you do get hungry on the mountain, Steamboat has everything from fast food all the way up to super fancy 5-star dining restaurants. So any type of food you're looking for, you're going to find at Steamboat. For quick grab-and-go food, the Range Food and Drink Hall right at the bottom of the Steamboat gondola gives you a huge variety of food and drink options. It was really sick. They had an app. You go in, order your table, you put in your table number, and they'll bring it right to you. It had a great variety of options. It was pretty good food quality, and like I said, you get a huge variety of food to choose from. A hot chocolate and a bowl of ramen definitely hit the spot after snowboarding on an insanely cold powder day. Will I go back to Steamboat? Overall, Steamboat is just hard to beat. It has the best aspen glades I've ever seen and the most aspen glades I've ever seen. They've got gladed riding for all skill levels, so I think this would be a great spot for someone who's never done any tree riding before to help them get into it and progress. Plus, if you've got multiple skill levels in your party where there is tree riding off of literally every run, you could have all the beginners stay on the groom runs and you could be riding in and out of the trees right beside them. Steamboat is personally my favorite Colorado resort that I have ever been to and probably my third favorite resort I've been to as a whole. I think regardless of the conditions, with the variety of terrain, you're going to have a great time. It's perfect for families, and even on a longer ski trip, you'll have plenty to do on and off the mountain. You could easily make a whole week ski trip and not get bored. I definitely plan to come back to Steamboat again. It is just so much fun and an incredible time. If you do have any questions about Steamboat, definitely comment them below. Again, if you are looking for a perfect condo for your family, for your ski trip, if you're just going to Steamboat, I've got an incredible one linked down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one soon.